Ram pickups.
Handling relatives during the holidays tomorrow at 9.
On World News Tonight this Monday, was the man caught smuggling bomb-making ingredients into the country working with anyone else? What kind of bomb was he trying to make? Where did he intend to use it? A humanitarian catastrophe of overwhelming proportions in Venezuela. 150,000 people stranded by floods. 20,000 may be dead. A closer look at breaking into computers in order to make them more secure. Hackers who say it's the socially responsible thing to do. And in Japan, a radical shift in the ideal family. Crazy for baby girls.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Connie Chung.
Good evening and welcome to a special Northwest edition of World News Tonight here on Channel 2. There is a sense of urgency in the law enforcement community tonight. Federal investigators are frantically trying to find the people they believe are working with Ahmed Rassam. He's the Algerian man caught last week in Washington State trying to bring explosives into the country from Canada. And they say Rassam may have links to a very violent terrorist organization in Algeria known as the Armed Islamic Group. Their most pressing worry right now is that others may have succeeded in bringing in explosives where Rassam failed. First, ABC's John Miller reports.
Today at the Canadian border in Sumas, Washington, Customs and Immigration inspectors were asking more questions and searching more cars. They do not believe that Ahmed Rassam, who was caught crossing the border allegedly with bomb-making materials, was acting alone. This is Rassam's Montreal apartment, where Canadian investigators have conducted a search, dusting for prints, and searching for explosive residue. ABC's Bob Woodruff.
The owner of this apartment building tells ABC News that on Saturday night, after authorities had finished dusting and searching this apartment, an investigator told him they had found a .357 pistol in here, along with plans to make a bomb.
Sources told ABC News that the nitroglycerin Rassam was allegedly captured with appeared to be homemade. That might jibe with an account from the housekeeping staff at the hotel where the two men stayed in Vancouver. They told us they were never allowed to clean the second room in the suite and that there was often a smell like eggs cooking. Chris Ronay is the former chief of explosives for the FBI.
That type of smell could be associated with the nitration of glycerin or even the nitration of urea.
Because there were 4 battery-powered timers allegedly found in Rassam's car, it suggests to investigators that the bombing plot may have involved a plan to leave 4 devices with the same chemical makeup as the World Trade Center bomb, urea nitrate with a nitroglycerin booster.
Properly placed, these terrorist devices can injure an awful lot of people, and much more fatalities could result than at the World Trade Center.
The clear focus of the investigation today was to find the second man that so many witnesses saw Rassam with. But investigators don't think it ends there. They believe if there was a plot to carry out multiple bombings, it involved more than just the 2 men they know about. John Miller, ABC News, New York.
Authorities are learning more about Ahmed Rassam's affiliations. He's been linked to this man, Saeed Khatami, who also lived in Canada and is now in jail for a series of bombings in France. Those bombings are believed to have been ordered by the Armed Islamic Group, a terrorist organization from the North African nation of Algeria, known as the most violent terrorist organization in the world. Here's ABC's John McWethy.
U.S. investigators are puzzled by the possible links between an Algerian terrorist group and the apparent planned attack in the U.S. The Armed Islamic Group, known as the GIA, has fought for 7 years to accomplish just one goal: overthrow the government of Algeria. The GIA's tactics always seem to involve killing innocent civilians.
Clearly, the goal, among other things, is to terrify.
The GIA has slaughtered villagers in Algeria sympathetic to the government, planted bombs in France, the one-time colonial masters of Algeria, and hijacked a passenger plane. But in all of its short, violent history, this terrorist group has never spoken out against the U.S. or attacked American targets. U.S. officials say it is not likely the group itself has suddenly changed. More likely, they say, some of its people may have been willing to do a job for another terrorist group.
They may feel they're on the run and maybe are willing to work for other people. Maybe the bin Laden group at this point is willing to absorb some of these elements.
Many of the Algerian militants have trained with other terrorist organizations in Afghanistan. They share an ideology that is violently anti-Western. U.S. officials say they do not know what motivated Ahmed Ressam, but say it could have been as simple as needing a job for which his background and beliefs were perfect. John McWethy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
Two other notes. In Washington today, a ceremony honored customs agents who participated in the arrest of the U.S.-Canadian border. The agent who first stopped Ahmed Ressam, Diana Dean, said it just appeared that he needed a little further inspection, which is routine. Despite the arrests and government warnings, a new poll by ABC News finds that very few Americans, just 26%, are worried about a terrorist attack in this country on New Year's Eve. 73% are not concerned. In the South American nation of Venezuela today, aid and rescue workers are looking at one of the biggest disaster scenes ever. They now say the death toll from mudslides and flooding could reach 20,000. The northern coast, with its Caribbean beaches, has been hit by the worst of it. ABC's Bob Jameson reports.
All day long, helicopters evacuated survivors by the thousands, as military and civilian officials struggled with the overwhelming magnitude of the devastation. Venezuela even used amphibious ships today to rescue survivors from the beach. Relief supplies were being distributed in some affected areas, but it was often chaotic. There is no food, this man said. There is no water. An estimated 150,000 people are still stranded. It could be many more. And health officials expressed growing concern.
There are people that have been without water, food, medical attention since Wednesday and Thursday, and the situation is quite tenuous at this point.
It was on Wednesday that days of torrential rain touched off mudslides and flash floods that swallowed entire villages. Worst hit was the central coastal state of Vargas, just north of Caracas. There, thousands of poor had built shanty towns on Mount Avila. The mud swept many into the sea. Outside cemeteries, people looked at photographs of victims, hoping not to see a loved one. 1,500 graves were dug during the weekend in Caracas, but officials say that is only a beginning. It is clear tonight that officials just don't know how many have died. Venezuela's foreign minister said, any figure we give is more speculation than reality. Bob Jameson, ABC News, New York.
In Russia today, a major election victory for supporters of the government. For the first time, communists will not dominate the parliament. The results were also a strong show of support for Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, who has led the war against Chechnya. Putin is now the favorite to succeed Boris Yeltsin in next year's presidential elections. When World News Tonight returns, the pressure on NASA to make this shuttle mission succeed, and inside an elite circle of computer hackers who say their hacking is meant to be helpful. We'll take a closer look at computer security.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Office Depot.
You know what I like about working at Office Depot during the holidays? Customers like Greg McCormick. He's so nice. His company makes peppermint candy canes, and he loves giving them out to just about everyone while he does his holiday shopping. He also loves saving money on everything he buys. Lucky for us, though, the holidays come only once a year. That's nice. All that candy gets to be pretty tempting.
Shop Office Depot, online or in our store.
Thanks for shopping Office Depot.
Here, have a candy cane.
Bye.
Out here, I'm in command. So am I supposed to say, slow down, guys, I'm constipated? I don't think so. You try to eat right. Sometimes you can't. Harsh chemical laxatives, they can kick in whenever and wherever. Not an option. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. It's got 100% natural fiber. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With Rock,
the #1 anti-wrinkle cream in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, RoC's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. RoC, we keep our promises.
The Chrysler Sebring convertible, engineered from the top down to be driven 365 days a year, no matter how bad the weather. Because even the wettest spot on Earth has its day in the sun. Now, lease a Chrysler Sebring JX convertible for $329 a month.
Around the nation today, in Vermont, the state Supreme Court ruled that gay couples deserve the same benefits and protections given to men and women who are married. The court said Vermont's legislature must decide if gay couples should marry or just be domestic partners to enjoy these benefits. The ruling makes Vermont the only state that's on the road to recognizing gay unions. In Ohio today, a federal judge threw out the state's controversial school voucher program. The program uses taxpayer money to help more than 4,000 students attend private schools, most of which are religious. The judge ruled that the program violates the separation of church and state. Tomorrow is a big day for NASA. Space Shuttle Discovery will hook up with the Hubble Space Telescope, where the astronauts will be making some desperately needed repairs. Coming at the end of the year in which NASA lost 2 Mars spacecraft and launched fewer shuttles than any year since 1988, you might say the pressure is on. ABC's James Walker reports.
Hubble has shown us the universe as we have never seen it before. New stars, dying stars, new galaxies, and old. It has helped astronomers calculate the age of the universe.
It is like going into a candy store and getting a completely new piece of candy every time you go in.
But last month, Hubble shut down when the 4th of 6 gyroscopes failed. Gyros point and stabilize the telescope so it can take pictures like this. Without them, these stars would be blurry. This latest mission is intended to replace all of the gyros.
This is a very challenging, a very fascinating mission, and one that, yes, is darn near an emergency in space.
Here is how the repair job is supposed to work. Tomorrow, the shuttle will rendezvous with the Hubble, grab it with a robot arm, and put it into the shuttle's payload bay where the astronauts will make the repairs.
We are all in the back of our minds a little bit worried about working on this national asset. This is an incredibly valuable world asset, I should say, that is fragile in many ways.
Hundreds of astronomers have felt the loss of Hubble. Patrick Seitzer had booked observation time last month to study galaxies. He lost out.
I was extremely disappointed and not a little bit angry.
That kind of criticism adds to the pressure that NASA is already feeling to have a success after a series of failed missions to Mars. James Walker, ABC News, New York.
ABC News has learned that tomorrow, President Clinton will announce one of the biggest clean air decisions in a decade. He's closing a legal loophole that allowed sport utility vehicles to pollute more than cars. The EPA says that will add about $100 to the price. Another change, refineries will also have to produce cleaner burning gasoline. On the money tonight, a record year for car sales. 16.8 million cars, pickups, and SUVs are expected to drive off the lot this year. Much stronger sales than analysts had predicted. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 113 points to close at 11,144. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up more than 30 points. One of country music's legendary singers and songwriters has died. Hank Snow was 85.
Once I was passing your window.
He was one of country and western's most flamboyant performers, which is saying a lot. Hank Snow dominated the charts for 2 decades. In the 1950s and 60s, Snow recorded more than 40 top 10 hits.
You switched your ends and now I ain't got time for a driving woman on my main line, 'cause I'm moving on.
I'm Moving On was #1 for 21 weeks in 1950. Snow began singing in Canada, but it was Nashville that made him a star.
Down the trail of aching heart.
Hank Snow was a fixture at the Grand Ole Opry for more than 40 years. He made his last appearance in 1996 at the grand old age of 82.
Thank you, sir.
Just ahead, computer hackers who claim they could disable the entire internet in 30 minutes.
There is a minute in each morning when the day is fresh and ripe with possibility. A minute where you stand tall before the day, drink it all in, and say to yourself, today, the deep end. That minute was made for Minute Maid. A taste as fresh and ripe as morning itself. Drink in 100% Minute Maid Premium and squeeze the day.
Hey, Annie Matthews, what's on your plate today?
Today's going to be great, but really busy. 10, maybe 15 cuts.
Lunch is here, Annie.
I'll probably grab a quick bite when I can.
Annie, your 2 o'clock's here.
And maybe get heartburn. I used to think Tums if I'd already eaten. Not anymore.
Now you can take Pepcid AC whenever you need it. Pepcid AC controls heartburn before, during, or even after you eat.
Of course I can take you.
No matter what's on your plate, today should be heartburn-free with Pepcid AC.
It's form that touches our lives, and function that enlivens it. It's poetry that clutches the heart, and technology that makes it race. It's science that makes us see, and design that makes our eyes wide. It's the fusion of all these things. That is the power of and. The power of and. The fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at the increasing vulnerability of the computer networks that play such an enormous role in our lives. Computer experts have been worried for some time about a flood of viruses designed to disrupt the nation's computer systems over the new year. The systems may be at far greater risk than most people believe. The Pentagon says at least 100 attempts are made each day to hack into its systems. A small percentage of those attacks may not be intended maliciously. ABC's Kevin Newman has been granted access to a group of elite hackers who usually operate in secret. The group actually breaks into computer systems in an effort to improve their security.
Their code name is The Loft, and in exchange for a peek into their secretive world, we had to promise not to reveal where their hideout is. They are the elite of hackers, whose notoriety brought them before Congress a year ago.
I'm informed that you think that within 30 minutes, the 7 of you could make the internet unusable for the entire nation. Is that correct?
That's correct. It would definitely take a few days for people to figure out what was going on.
This is our library.
It's not much to look at. A lot of circuits, old keyboards, and some very odd tributes to the information age.
Did you ever figure out how many miles of wire you got in here?
No, it's funny. You just move in and you just keep stringing more and more wire to do more and more stuff.
What they do is try to break into programs we're led to believe are secure.
This is Kingpin over here working on a project.
Hey, Kingpin. How you doing?
By not revealing their real names, they protect themselves from lawsuits by companies and individuals. They have perfected ways, for example, to crack passwords. Those are those secret letters or numbers we enter, assuming they protect our privacy.
Give me a sense of how long it would take.
Minutes.
So seconds. Really?
Yes.
But Loft doesn't just bypass passwords successfully. On their website, they show the world which software has vulnerable security, then provide instructions on how to break in. It's an open invitation to other hackers. But Loft says it's meant to embarrass companies into better protecting our privacy.
I mean, if we found it, somebody else can find it. Why not just tell the companies that they have a problem?
We initially tried doing it that way. We found that if we don't take it that step further, that nobody fixes it. Nobody pays attention to it.
So you accept that you might have created through your work more security breaches?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to kick up the hornet's nest a little bit in order to get it to resettle in a, in a better way.
And it usually works. Lotus, which makes a popular office and email program, credits Loft with flagging a potential security issue in some of its software. But not all of Loft's work is as constructive. Some members of the group claim they can target any computer system and try to shut it down. They say it's to remind us how we've become reliant on computers for more than just communicating. They help us run our power systems and are the backbone of the military. Two potentially dangerous targets for hackers.
Aren't you legitimizing destructive behavior in some ways?
I don't think we are. What we do is we don't try and play favorites. We don't suppose that, we know who the good guys are and that we know who the bad guys are.
In that same morally ambiguous way, the members of Loft see what they do as neither good nor bad. More akin to Robin Hood, whose merry band of outlaws used unorthodox ways to help.
We feel that we're actually making a difference.
But like Robin Hood, one person's hero can be another's rogue. Kevin Newman, ABC News.
One of the stories on tonight's 2020 is about teenage cyber terrorists. They have shut down 911 systems, hacked into an air traffic control tower, even kept the White House off the internet for 2 days. And once again, they are just teenagers. For more on how hackers ply their trade, you can go to our website, abcnews.com. And when we come back, why do young girls have such a hold on Japan?
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods, perhaps as vital to your eyes as the beta-carotene in carrots. And now, Centrum and Centrum Silver are the only leading multivitamins that have lutein. So whatever your age, you can help maintain your precious sight. Look into Centrum and Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein. Also look for Centrum Herbals, the only herbals backed by Centrum Science.
This holiday, over 7 million pets will be homeless. But when you buy a limited edition PetSmart ornament for $4.99, you can help. All proceeds go to PetSmart charities to benefit local homeless animals. Make a pet's holiday wish come true at PetSmart.
For years, people have won millions from Publishers Clearinghouse by mailing in entries. But now there's another way to win. Introducing PCH.com, where one click could win you $21 million Super Bowl Sunday. Enter by mail or online. But whatever you do, enter.
Sooner or later, you're going to quit smoking. So consider this. A quit date this good won't come along for another 1,000 years. Don't waste it. Quit with Nicoderm CQ. CQ's got the 3 gradual steps, and hundreds of thousands of smokers have already quit with it. Wasn't 1 millennium smoking enough? Start the next one with Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
There are a few things you need to do to make your home safe for you and your family, like setting your water heater at 120 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent burns, and installing smoke alarms outside of bedrooms. If your home was built before 1978, have it tested for lead-based paints. Did I mention proper wiring?
For a free brochure on HUD's Healthy Homes and to learn how an FHA loan can help you buy a home, just call.
HUD and FHA are on your side.
Nobody does it like you. He'll do a lot of his growing up down here, on the carpet. That's why deep down, you want Hoover. Powerful wind tunnel technology reaches deep down to loosen, lift, grab, and trap hidden dirt. It's a fact. Wind Tunnel by Hoover picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright. And now there's a canister with wind tunnel technology. Hoover. If you want clean, deep down, you want Hoover.
I was one herding cowboy. Heartburn hotter than a blown engine. And pain? The antacid I took didn't do the whole job. And Pepsi takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. Man, if it didn't work a whole lot better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
Boy, it works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. Made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
A study out today from the website babycenter.com says that the name Jacob has replaced Michael as the most popular name for an American baby boy. Michael was the most common name for 35 years. It's number 2 this year, followed by Matthew, Nicholas, and Christopher. For baby girls, Emily was the most popular name in 1999, followed by Sarah, Brianna, Samantha, and Haley. The rankings are based on Social Security records. In Japan tonight, the baby talk is about Crown Princess Masako, who after 6 years of marriage is reported to be pregnant. She won't even say if it's true, much less if it's a boy or a girl. In Japan, by law, only boys may take the throne, but for most Japanese, that way of thinking belongs, well, back in the 20th century. In Tokyo, ABC's Mark Litke has more on the story.
The Yamaguchis are typical of today's young Japanese parents, caring, attentive, and delighted that their child is a girl. In a society that has traditionally favored male children, where boys have always been pampered and men get the best jobs, where sons were wanted to carry on the family name or business, most Japanese now say they prefer having girls. The reasons? They're much easier to raise than boys. They're cuter, more fun to dress up. And the biggest concern in this rapidly aging society, girls are more likely to take care of us when we're old. And this is not just an idle wish. Japanese are actively seeking ways to make it happen, snapping up how-to books offering advice on sex selection, even though there's no proof any of the methods work. And fertility specialists report that 4 years ago, 80% of their patients wanted boys. Now, 80% want girls.
This preference for girls over boys has happened so suddenly that social scientists here still aren't quite sure what to make of it. But some suspect it may be related to Japan's prolonged economic slump.
This rigid male-dominated society has been badly shaken by its economic failures. Today, instead of respect, many now feel sorry for young men and boys for the lifelong pressures on them to succeed and conform, whereas girls suddenly seem symbols of things Japan needs for the future: more creativity, more individuality. Girl power, Japan style. Just ask the Yamaguchis what they want for a second child. A girl, of course. We need a little sister here, don't we? Mark Litke, ABC News, Tokyo.
Thanks for joining us for this special edition of World News Tonight on Channel 2. And don't forget Channel 2 News at 11. I'm Connie Chung. We hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
From ABC News, tomorrow, the talented Matt Damon on his rising fame and his latest film.
I love this movie.
A Diane Sawyer interview on Good Morning America tomorrow. And on World News Tonight, do your doctors know how to talk to you? Do you know how to talk to them? Why what's not said can hurt you. Watch World News Tonight.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.